Welcome back, everybody. You got Will and I-Man here from the Block Runner, MetaZone, Roby, and MScribe. And today, we're going to figure out whether crypto's cooked or not.
And can we come back from a status of cookery, right?
Yeah.
Well, let's find out. Why do people think it's cooked, right? For one.
Well, because Bitcoin crashed from 124 to 113.
Didn't it go lower, like 109?
Yeah, I guess so.
It breached under 110K, and that really
that did, yeah.
That really set the alarm whistles in full force.
Everything was on fire.
Yeah, so you got the top callers already out in full force. Like, told you, that was the top. Expect, 20K,
20,
30K Bitcoin. It's coming up, dude. Yeah, so you've got to kind of sift through that noise, right? Do you panic? What do you do?
No, you look at the rainbow chart, dude.
Okay. Well, let's look at the on-chain activity, right? Maybe that's another signal we can reference besides just the spot price of Bitcoin or Ethereum or whatever, right?
Yeah, and this is just a microcosm of the overall chain activity. So we're going to look at Solana here.
Yeah, keep in mind this chart in particular that's very scary.
Yeah. That's
just Solana. But, had all these other chains been selected,
they all would have looked the same.
Well, not necessarily. They would be like flat lines in comparison, really. But so the market is kind of gauging its sentiment around this, right? It's like, the bubble has came and went.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. Trenches are very cooked. This is what happens when max extractors get to go unchecked long enough. Study what happened to the peak of NFTs. Once a game becomes solved, systematic extraction eliminates all external user appeal, which means there are no more inflows to fuel the bubble. No one's coming to save your bags.
Damn. That's very bleak.
Yeah.
I feel very unsettled by those statements, dude. Nobody's coming. It's over. The show's kaput.
Yeah.
So this is...
Just hang it up. Hang the jersey.
Yeah.
Retire.
Well, I mean, so NFTs did experience like a very similar trajectory last cycle.
Mm-hmm.
And he's right. It hasn't really come back since. At least not yet.
Yeah. NFTs lasted quite a ways, though. Like a whole year.
This was a whole year, dude.
Yeah.
And then another year of, air exiting the balloon, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that's a solid 2-year little meme coin bubble that we just kind of went through.
Right.
So, on the way down, it's much more difficult, I think, to identify, you're in a capitulation moment.
So you're telling me my Yeezy bags are not going to come back anymore?
Yeah, and that's your Yeezy bags?
Yeah. Yeezy money, right? That's what they told me.
Yeah, man. I think you're cooked if you're still holding Yeezy,
All right. So Elon comes in. It's wild to me how people can doubt the longevity of on-chain trenches after previously being called dead so many times. The cycle's biggest innovation succeeded for a reason. However, I believe that things have to radically change for the ecosystem to 100x. Let me cook.
Yeah. What do you think? You think he's going to solve the problem, dude?
He's done it once. Can he do it again?
Yeah, radically change. That's what stood out to me. I wonder what he means. Well, there's several core issues, right? I've seen the idea put out there by, Ben Pasternak and others. Maybe there should be some sort of forced hodl mechanic or something to people partaking in these markets in order to, make them more palatable for people.
Forcing them to hold.
It's like a vesting process. It's like if you partake in these Launchpad tokens, then you're literally locked into them for X amount of time.
Kind of Boop did that in a small way, right?
Did they?
In a way.
Well, by adding like incentives for holding, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one way to go about it. But I'm wondering if that's what he means by radical changes, because how much can you really change from like a recipe standpoint?
Yeah.
Unless he means like a complete pivot away from meme coins into another direction. Maybe. I think that makes sense.
Yeah, maybe. But he's got a live stream platform now.
Yeah.
And maybe that's like, it may not be getting as much as attention as it probably should. Yeah, so it could be anything. But yeah, he's cooked once. He's going to do it again. All right, so Pump, it's at 1.14 billion market cap, fully diluted 3.2.
Yeah, so it hasn't really done much since its ICO launch. It's basically in like an accumulation period, right? That's what this looks like to me. So yeah, if you have conviction in Elon that he's gonna do it again, come in and rescue this, Solana Trent situation.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a bad bet.
It's not a bad bet. Yeah, well, I mean, like you said, things are gonna have to radically change.
That's right.
And I totally agree. But we have different interpretations of what radical means.
Right? Yeah. Well, speaking about radical changes, Sandbox, they raised $120 million across 6 rounds.
Yeah.
Valued at $1 billion in 2024. Partnered with Snoop, Adidas, Gucci, Ubisoft, and Paris. 5.7 million registered users, 580,000 active in Alpha Season 4, 166 million in secondary volume at peak. The Metaverse leader with brand deals everywhere, but this year the game shuts down. Land floor around $130. User activity down massively, and the new product is a meme coin Launchpad on base.
Yeah, I don't know where people are getting that from.
I don't know.
It hasn't been officially announced yet.
Yeah, it hasn't. This could be like just kicking the horse, right?
Yeah.
It's just like, I'm sure you're just going to launch another meme Launchpad.
But it's very specific. The fact that they included that it's on base, it probably is like true information.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah.
And, we've been covering the space for all year. And it's that is the direction we've identified also is like, this is just what the industry has evolved into, right?
Yeah.
It is like a competitive space to who can create the best token issuance model, essentially. So
yeah, if you watch our previous videos, we talk about the meme coin Launchpad mechanism, and there is a lot of viability in the tech behind it, because you're bootstrapping liquidity. So it's not that crazy that others start to leverage that mechanism. It's just weird that we have a metaverse platform with all this like resources, just like, do something else.
Yeah, I mean, it's indicative to the time where we are in the timeline of things, dude. Metaverse was very hot 3 years ago.
Thank you, COVID.
Yeah, COVID, definitely a big catalyst to that. We all of a sudden abandoned our outside world
Yeah,
for a much more digitized version of it.
1 in 100 year scenario.
So theoretically, the Metaverse won't come back
for another 100 years.
I don't know. Something needs to give. I mean, it's a very tough challenge, the Metaverse, right?
Yeah.
Well,
Roblox
in a
is
pre-AI era, it's tough.
Yeah, but Roblox is like swimming right now.
They're doing very well. Yeah, and it feels like they had all the fundamental ingredients, right? They had their little creator tool.
Uh-huh.
You can come and build your experience with their tools. I don't think you need to be a developer, right? No.
Not really. No,
maybe
not
like
really.
especially now with vibe
like
coding.
a scripter, yeah.
Yeah, with Grok's assistants, you could probably create anything in their ecosystem.
Yeah.
Right? But still didn't pan out, dude.
Yeah. So
it's tough out there.
Yeah, so let's take a look at the damage here. So this was 2021 peak.
Yeah. Talk about hype, dude. That was a lot of hype back in those days.
Thank you, Zuck.
That's pure Zuckerberg momentum for sure.
Yeah. And then 95% down.
Yeah, and if you look at the daily, this news here hasn't really affected it much for whatever reason. Because I don't think the official statements are out. I think the market is kind of reacting impulsively. I don't think this is like the end for Sandbox.
Yeah, but you were listening to a podcast. Who was that?
Yeah,
that was
Yatsu.
Oh, Yatsu. Okay.
So Yatsu is like a majority owner of Sandbox, right? Animoca Brands.
And so he was talking about
like this
the
is
restructuring.
Not the end. Yeah, it's a whole like a restructuring.
And they're blaming AI, but that's an easy. Well, it is AI, but it's also like the lack of interest in the metaverse.
Correct. Yeah, I mean it's just he mentioned that they have 9 offices or something in that interview, so you can imagine the burn is pretty significant, right? And he had over 1,000 employees. Oh, that's a burn. It's a lot of burn.
The burn is burning, dude.
Yeah, so I think it was time for them to restructure, even though they sold like hundreds of millions of dollars worth of digital land.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that money can only carry you so far, right? Like in a zero revenue.
Yeah, zero revenue environment.
Yeah. So pivoting, dude. This is what you got to do to survive in these markets, right?
Yeah, it's not a bad move to pivot. All right, so U.S. Department of Commerce and Chainlink now bringing government macroeconomic data on chain. Includes real GDP, PCE price index, and real final sales to private domestic purchasers. Not sure everyone fully appreciates how fast this entire space is evolving, and hope you're paying attention. So we got the government data on chain.
All right, so maybe we're not so cooked, dude.
No, that means that DeFi can leverage government information.
Such as?
Let's say interest rates increase, and you could tie DeFi interest rates to government interest rates. I mean, that seems like a very important thing to do if you are a bank, right? Leveraging these on-chain tools.
Yeah.
And the reason why this is important is because Chainlink takes off-chain data, puts it on-chain via an Oracle network, and each Oracle is providing the data on-chain, and if one of the Oracles is trying to finagle fake data, right, they get kicked off the chain, they get slashed, and only real data gets accessed via on-chain apps.
Yeah, so this is just further cementing Chainlink's like infrastructure monopoly, I would say, right? At least in the Oracle space.
Yeah, I would agree.
The data pipeline of things. So
yeah, market cap $17 billion. I mean, that's not nothing.
Yeah, which is why it's not really reacting much. I mean, you would think a government partnership announcement would be something to send something into like the stratosphere of all escape velocities, right?
But man, last I checked, we're not in 2017 anymore.
I don't know what we're in anymore. That's kind of the point of this. Like, it's kind of hard to gauge where we are. Are we in a bull market? Are we not? If we were in like a true bull market, this kind of announcement would, I think, shoot Chainlink.
Yeah, 30%.
Maybe 10x higher.
Yeah,
maybe, but maybe not. You know, it's just the market doesn't really know where the value lies.
Yeah, it's
so
weird.
Far.
It's weird. I mean, Bitcoin, 100,000, but it's not that interesting.
Well, in the context of inflation, right? It's like really we're at 60,000.
Correct. Yeah, if you price Bitcoin per ounce of gold, it's the same price as it was when it was $60,000 in 2021.
Yeah, so like we haven't even really broken previous all-time highs.
We have not, no.
So in context of that, if that is like a true representation of, value present in the market, we haven't even hit like.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, pricing in dollars, like you could do that, but I think you have to price Bitcoin against a hard asset, because if it appreciates against a hard asset, that means it's actually getting valuable. And right now, the all-time high of Bitcoin is basically the same as it was in 2021. Like it's nothing.
Which is maybe why it feels this way, right?
I think so. I don't know how, maybe humans are that intuitive, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. I don't know if it's a lack of just fundamental innovations in the space.
Probably.
And just the.
It's like, let's take a look at what's going on in crypto. It's like memes.
Yeah, but then you see like government adoption, right?
Yeah.
So it's like,
Yeah, I guess.
It's good and not so good, but still.
It's true. That is weird.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. It's hard to gauge. Clearly there's a lot of like, institutional setup happening with the whole treasury company thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, even that still hasn't really taken off.
Yeah, I'm seeing Tom Lee just buy like hordes of ETH, billions of dollars, at the fastest rate we've seen any accumulation occur.
Yeah, and Bitminer keeps going down. Right? So that's confusing too. It's like, fuck, man. It's hard to really interpret like again, state of the market cycle that we're in. And then
weird.
Somehow all this is supposed to just take off, and by the end of the year we'll hit all-time highs, and that's the peak of the market. Maybe not. Maybe it's a different story this time around, right?
Yeah, I guess whatever the predictions were, because so many people believe in it, the opposite will occur.
Yeah. So the takeaway here is to not try so hard to like predict things, right? I think the best thing you can do right now is just be present and just be vigilant and like in your understanding, which is what we do, right? We just trying to keep along with all the different narratives and such, and because we know at the end of the day, at some point, it's all going to we'll meet that inflection point, right?
Yeah, well, let me tell you about another narrative out of thin air. Bitcoin's in trouble. So Ryan from Bankless,
Yeah.
he's asking a serious question for those who love Bitcoin. What do you think, or how do you think this is going to play out? And he's showing a tweet here by CB Spears where he's looking at the mempool.
Yeah, we've done this many times, right?
Yes.
Remember that?
That's our
Bread and butter.
yeah.
So guys, should look at the mempool from time to time.
Yeah.
Right?
Should look into it, guys.
Yeah.
And you'll see that nobody's really using the Bitcoin blockchain.
Yeah.
Well, so what's the big deal? It's like, in our opinion, we don't think it's that big of a deal because we feel like there's a solution out there. And you don't actually need to use a chain to have a 200, 400, 500 trillion dollar chain. You don't actually have to use it. But how Bitcoin is designed, it isn't designed to have long-term sustainability because the security budget of Bitcoin continues to decline every 4 years. And as you can see, with no transactions happening on the network itself, or at least transactions that are negligible in transaction fees,
Mm-hmm.
there isn't enough money to sustain the network long term, right?
Yeah.
And there's many OGs, Bitcoin OGs, who are just like sweeping it under the rug. It's not a problem. It's a tomorrow problem.
Yeah.
You know, it's not a big deal. But if you talk to miners, they're like, you know, what thing in AI do I need to get into? What business model do I need to figure out? How do I sustain my business?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And Galaxy Digital, they stopped mining Bitcoin, and now they're mining AI.
Yeah.
And so we think that this is going to continue to propagate, and the security of Bitcoin will go down, and the store of value narrative is just evaporates.
Yeah, I think we assumed this might, and not just us, others might have taken like a couple cycles from now to really play out, or at least from like a narrative perspective, for people to become really concerned or aware of this. But you know, as the days go by, it seems like this issue is getting louder and louder and louder. More and more people are talking about it.
Yeah.
Of course, from the Ethereum perspective, it's like the ETH bros are using this as like a attack fodder. It's like, see, we told you Ethereum was better.
Yeah. So those ETH bros should also look at the ETH priced in gold, and you should see where that's at.
Right. Well, yeah, that's a different matter, but
Yeah.
nonetheless, it's the issue is being amplified on both.
Yeah,
either
they're
side.
dancing on the grave. Essentially, it's like Ethereum. Tom Lee is saying that Ethereum is supposed to overtake Bitcoin, and there's a chance something else could overtake Bitcoin if this problem isn't solved.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think that's very possible, especially if you understand like the core primitive of how value is arrived.
Yeah,
it's typically it's just like a factor of belief.
Yeah,
among like human beings.
Yes.
So parallel that to religious belief. There's been macro shifts amongst human beings when it comes to spirituality.
Yeah.
Like why couldn't you see that happen in the realm of cryptocurrency?
Absolutely,
I think that's
can
very
happen.
viable. But so nonetheless, this issue is getting louder and louder and louder.
Yep.
But we've heard many people discussing this topic, and we go through those threads. We see those AI conversations, and not once is NAT ever brought up.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. It's kind of surprising because we feel like we've put out enough information about NAT.
Not just us, the community too.
Yeah, in order for the AI to get picked up, it's like, hey, what are the solutions to the Bitcoin subsidy issue? It's like, here are some. They're all bad, and then NAT is not even mentioned.
Yeah, so that got us thinking, right? We need to do something else. We need to do more to get like the the thesis out there.
AI SEO.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. So and other things too. The whole aspect of supporting the NAT token is going to be completely open sourced, where anybody can run a network node for decentralized indexing. And so we had a community member ask Benny, say, hey, what's the update? It's like just I mentioned earlier, I'm giving this a fast track, and this is planned for release in September, completely open sourcing everything.
That's good. That's next month.
Yeah, that's like a few days, and so sometime next month. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's also going to coincide with Trax token migration to Tunk.
Yep, correct.
TNK.
TNK, yeah.
Yeah, so
that means that once this is open source, the cat is out of the bag, right? It's spilt milk. You can't put it back.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, it operates under the same ethos alignment as Bitcoin, right? It's just you run a node,
Yep.
you validate the source of truth here, and this thing becomes unstoppable.
Yep.
So do with that information what you will, but what we plan to do is to continue to champion this horse, right? Like, there are more solutions than what people are discussing right now.
Yeah, so much so that we decided to write a NAT paper.
Yeah, we figured that maybe we haven't put out enough as far as explanation, like an actual cohesive, full story scope of the picture of what it is NAT can achieve and what it contributes to, right?
Yeah, so it's not live yet, but there will be a link called NAT paper, and it's going to explain the entire problem. And so stay tuned to the podcast, because we're going to go into this in a deep way, because we were having a deep conversation about just like, Bitcoin itself. Where does it derive its value? How does anything get value? Why would NAT have any value? Things like that. So stay tuned for the podcast, because we're going to go into that subject and break it all down.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it for us. So we got the government using Chainlink. We got transactions disappearing, like not existing on Bitcoin. Sandbox struggling. Like, give me your thoughts. If you find anything interesting in the crypto space, let us know. I appreciate you for watching, and we'll catch you in the next video.
Peace.